welcome to the 95th episode of Retrotopia. My name is Brian, and I am your host for this week's show. And this week we are playing a game that is one thing in North America and another in Europe. That would be, of course, Contra and Probotector. But if you're just here for the game chat, head on down the road about 25 minutes and you should find it. But we really hope you stay because we like to have a little bit of fun in these intros. Now, before we get into it, I am remiss to do this part of the episode. So if you want to find us on social media, you can do so at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. There you can find our Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, or you can find the link to join our Discord, as well as there is a link to our Dashery, retrotopia.dashery.com. There you can find some t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and much more. If you want to support the show, we got some designs going on. And finally, of course, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Retrotopia, but don't worry, it is free to join. You will get, with your free membership, 2 more shows: Quick Play, which is a single host quick review of a game that we really couldn't make a full episode of, or a member of our hero tier selected as is one of their perks, and Retro Bites, which is kind of going through a revamp right now. But that's where the 3 of us get together and we just kind of chat about games, gaming, and the culture around it. We try to get it out on the 15th for the Patreon, but we always add an extra topic on it. But if you listen to this month's episode, it'll explain what the revamp is. You can also suggest topics for polls, which we run approximately every quarter. We just ran one for Boomer Shooters, and Duke Nukem 3D won that, so we'll be getting an episode in the near future. You can also comment on the games we talk about, like today's game, Contra or Probotector, and you can write into the host on the 9-bit banter box because, well, it's culturally elegant. Our first question comes from the Big Deal, who asks, the host of Retrotopia joined Dorothy on the Yellow Brick Road, and you're off to see the wizard, Brian. As a ginger, you're naturally asking the wizard for his soul. What are your co-hosts seeking at the end of their journey? Well, Mr. The Big Deal, you come in here and you call me a ginger and you think you're getting away with it? Well, you can take your ginger words and then don't forget to all while. But before you're done, you're going to turn it sideways. You're going to turn it sideways and you're going to no sunshine at all. None. It's just going to be all the way, and then coming in here saying such things without fur. And another thing, fingers through my hair. A little kiss on the ear would be nice. A little kiss on the ear while you. What would your mother think of you right now? Going out there. But finally, don't be afraid. And because if you miss it. All right, let's answer your question. Well, let's start with Alan. Alan, he would get a top hat. He's lacking one to be a true British gentleman, and that's what he needs. That's his quote-unquote heart. Now, of course, that I mentioned this, he's no doubt going to actually send me a picture of him wearing a top hat in the Discord, all dressed up and dapper and stuff like that, so don't do that, Alan. Don't make me look bad. And, of course, Sam. Sam will get the ability to turn his sworn enemies into dust through laser eyes. You know, why ask for simple things from the wizard when I can use Sam to take over the world? So that's what they would be asking for. Of course, me, I just got some soul. All right, thank you very much, The Big Deal. And next we move to McFlurry XD. And they say, hey, Brian, first time writing into the show. I stumbled upon your show after listening to Mr. Blank, who is the host of the Retro or Remember the Game podcast, for the last couple of years while working. I love listening to the show while at work or mowing the lawn for my grandfather. Keep up the witty fun show, and cheers, I guess they say in north of Freedom Land borders. Oddly enough, I do say cheers a lot. I find it a lot better than any other. It's the way I ended emails. Thanks for the compliment, actually. Really makes it a lot easier to do this sort of stuff when we do hear nice things. And welcome aboard, and thanks for writing in. And we're going to move to Radmac. They say, hey Brian, after realizing how incestuous this whole gaming podcast community is, it just occurred to me that we may have been in the same place for the same thing at one point, and we may even have met. Were you at the Adam Blank Comedy Show in Toronto? If you were, did you attend the meet and greet before the show? I also realized that not a lot of people in this community listen to New Game Plus. I hope you don't mind if I give a shout out to those guys. They do a really great job and are on my regular lineup of weekly listens, and I think a lot of others would enjoy them too. Cheers. All right, first, I love the fact that you used incestuous properly, because it both describes us as a group of like-minded people and the three of us as a family who fucks. We are both. I was at the Adam Blank Comedy Tour, and as mentioned in the last comment, Adam Blank is the host of Remember the Game and somebody who kind of... he didn't really do much to help it. It's just somebody I talked to, and it was somebody who I've asked advice for about podcasting because he does it really well. And he has a pretty big following. Check out Remember the Game if you have a chance. He's, thrown a couple people our way, and we really appreciate that for him. And I've actually had the fortune of being on some of his episodes. He does it really well. At the Before Comedy Show get together, I don't remember. I know I was pretty drunk that weekend, and the year before in Ottawa where I live, I went to that one too and got pretty drunk. So we probably did meet. There's a very good chance. I was also at the show, and I was kind of standing around a lot and taking pictures for funsies. And then after the show, went to, was it Mill Street Brewing with a bunch of people, and then we just tied one off until, until the night was over. So there is probably a good chance we have bumped into each other. At least we've been in the same room for sure. As for New Game Plus, when we created our New Game Plus, the first thing I did is Google the name, because I didn't want to step on anybody's toes by doing the exact same idea. So I did find New Game Plus, and I did add them to my rotation. And the reason we use New Game Plus is twofold. One is because it's behind our Patreon paid tier, and the second reason is because we tend to do new games in that one, or newer games, where they are a strictly retro podcast. I did listen to a couple of their shows, and what I'm going to call them what we call them in this industry is pros. They have a very good cohesion, and their show runs at a good pace, and I'm keeping them on my rotation. I don't know how, if I'm going to listen to them regularly, because I'm kind of overstacking my podcast as it is, so I don't only have so many hours in the day, and I do have to listen to the birds once in a while. But yeah, I will let you give them a shout out. So New Game Plus if you want to hear people do this right. Thanks very much, Rad Mac. Moving on to Shane's World. They say, hey Brian, first time well, you spelled this wrong. Commitmenting. I love it. First time commenting. I became a member after recommendations from Remember the Game. And to be honest, I don't regret becoming a member. My question is Nintendo Switch key cards. Do you disagree with them, or doesn't bother you that the full game isn't on the card? Okay, there's a term floating around on the internet I saw probably a good year ago now. The term is, if paying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. And it really sums up how I feel about this, because we're getting to the point where we're no longer buying stuff, we're just borrowing it for dollars. If that's the case, put it all on a friggin' streaming service and just make me pay a monthly fee, because honestly, if you're going to be allowed to yank the rug from under my feet, then no, you should not be allowed to charge me $100 for a game, because that's what the new Donkey Kong costs. And they finally hit the point where I now pick and choose my games because it's going to cost me so much money. And with the invention of Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, if you pull a game off Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, that's fine, because I'm paying a monthly service for all these games. I don't mind that, like any streaming service. Second, I buy a physical cartridge and the game's not on there, that's a problem. So I am not a big fan of this. I think it spits in the face of game preservation, and we should have the ability to play games we pay full price for forever. So if they had this as a download key on the card, but they never took away the ability to download the game, then that would be fine. But they're going to yank the carpet from out of under our feet when the Switch 3 comes out, and nothing we can do. We are at the mercy of corporations nowadays, so it is what it is. But no, it bothers me quite a bit. Welcome to the community, Shane's World. All I can think is the Wayne's World theme. Shane's World, excellent. Anyways, thanks, buddy. Next, we're moving on to Hooli Worcestershire. He's trying to make a joke out of Worcestershire sauce, and I don't even know how to pronounce the word salad he's put out. He knows what he did. All right, so he says, "Hey there, bud. if you could be a pro at any sport, which sport would it be and why? Real or fake, such as blitzball. And I added that accent because he actually wrote "Hey Dur Bud." Okay, so I'm Canadian. Let's be honest. I am 100% Canadian. I would be a hockey player because, you know, every Canadian kid's dream is to be a hockey player and not taken over by the United States, but that's a different problem we'll push down the road. The second closest sport I would love to be a pro in is a hot dog eating contest because I can slide a wiener down my throat like it paid me $100. I mean, what? All right, thanks, Uli. Next up, we got Super Jess, or Super Jes. We really gotta get in contact and see how you want that pronounced, but I'm gonna call you Super Jess for now because I'm lazy. They say, hello, good sir. As a fellow parent, I'm wondering what games you and your child or children have bonded over the most. My 6-year-old daughter is obsessed with Minecraft, and my 2-year-old son absolutely loves Duck Hunt with me. I'm excited to see where I take them with my retro influence, but also excited what they find on their own. Cheers. I tried to get my son into retro games. He's 11 years old right now, and he is a COVID kid, I'll call it that. He started grade 1 at the beginning of the pandemic, so his first few years of schooling was on a computer, and that's kind of where he lives nowadays. All of his friends do. So they do a lot of stuff inside of games like Minecraft and Roblox and things like that, but my kid also found an interest in building Roblox games, so he actually, we put him on a course on the weekends that has taught him about scripting in C#, how to use a couple of different programming languages, 3D modeling, level design, and all that kind of stuff. And he's still doing it to this day, and it's actually something he does as a hobby. But that doesn't answer your question at all. So, my kid doesn't like the retro titles I like. He's kind of developed his own niche inside of that Roblox world. And yeah, he wants to play multiplayer games with me, but I'm not a guy who can sit for like 8 hours and play a video game, or he is a kid still that can sit for 8 hours and play video games. So I haven't really tried to influence him. Occasionally he'll jump on the Xbox and grab something off Game Pass and give it a shot, and he goes through like little phases. So expect your kids to be, I guess, you know, in with what every other kid is, which is Minecraft and Roblox. But yeah, spend time with them and it'll definitely influence them. Also, get them to read books so they learn about stories. That was one thing we didn't really press on, and now my kid can't sit down for 2 minutes and read a book. But hope that answers your question. Next up, we got Dave McGinnis. He says, hey, Brian, see you soon, laughing maniacally. Holy Jesus. Yeah, he is the wizard. I'm off to go see him to get my soul. So that will be my vacation for this week, and we're gonna go meet up with a couple of people, and well, I'm probably gonna make my liver suffer a little bit. And finally, of course, we have Blue Yoshi 94. They say, hello, Brian. I hope you're having a good day. I've been playing Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door remake recently, and in Chapter 3, if you talk to the cameraman, he asks you, what flavor ice pop would you be? So I put this question upon you. I'll be cherry, because when something is cherry, it's a slang for perfect, and I am perfect, and I'll be taking no questions about that at this time. Thank you, everybody, for writing in. I always love doing this because it lets me kind of explore my insides. That was a terrible way to say that, but let's move on. So a couple of weeks ago, we started a new show called Choose One, Lose One, and this is my first time, so here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on down and welcome to Choose One, Lose One, a Retrotopia game show. Try your hand and pick your power up from the game of the week, but beware, because every rose has its thorn, every high has its low, and every power has its consequence. So come, roll the dice if you dare. Aim for the stars and watch out for the sting in the tail.
All right, the first person we got is Chris Copeland, who says, I would choose Spread, your mom. Wow. Well, here's the thing, is you fall in love with my mom and you become my dad. And you're obligated. Nay, you must, absolutely, without reserve, deliver back presents for all of my birthdays. All of them. And those presents must be in the video game consoles and or game of the year of that birthday. So that's going to cost you a pretty penny. Dave McGinnis says, I would like their abs. I miss abs. Well, you get their abs, but it is literally their abs. And you have to display them in your house so your girlfriend can remember what abs look like. Blue Yoshi 94 says the ability to have a game in the series which title sounds absolutely nothing like the first one, Super C. Well, you forget how to spell, and all games sound absolutely nothing like their first ones. Super Jess says, gotta be the flamethrower. Maybe I can finally get rid of these frickin' fruit flies in my kitchen. Cursed to summer. Well, the flies are offended for being called fruits, and now the LGBT community protests outside of your domicile 24/7. Hoodie says, I'll take all them muscles and the ability to jump and do a triple flip. Well, you get the muscles, which puts your body fat percentage down to 1%. This makes your penis really large, and every time you do a triple jump, your penis smacks your chin 3 times, leaving a mushroom-shaped bruise. And you must do a jump once per day to live. Then we have Shane's World. Never truly played any of the games, so I'm not sure if I can give a good answer, but after watching the gameplay, I would use a Konami Code for 99 lives and basically live forever, and would do away with being chased by military soldiers. Well, you now, beyond your control, die once a day, giving you 99 days to live. Military soldiers don't chase you, but they could have been the ones to help you, but you alienated them. And finally, we have the big deal. And he says, since I'm first to comment, which they were, I'm calling dibs on the Konami Code. No more looking both ways before crossing the street because now I have 99 lives. Well, with these lives, you live forever, opposite to Shane's World. You watch all your loved ones perish. Humanity perishes, the planet withers away, and the universe ends. Billions of years pass, and you cannot do anything but watch. But like Futurama, it all starts over again, and you move through time to the point you got the 99 lives, and like Futurama, the new universe is 10 meters higher than the old one, so you fall to your death upon that time you got the 99 lives. Only 98 more cycles left to go. It was fun. Thanks everybody for the comments, but before we go further, we always like to give the floor to Alan so that we can enjoy that sweet British voice on what we call the Gentleman's Interlude.
Man, you can't beat Contra. Classic NES run-and-gun perfection. Developed by Konami, released in North America in February 1988, it is the game that defined co-op shooters. Oh, here we go. Look, I'm not denying it's brilliant, but over here we had Probotector, released in Europe in 1990, also by Konami. Same gameplay, yeah, but with a cooler twist. Instead of generic Rambo wannabes, we had badass robots. Tell me that's not better. Cooler twist? You mean censorship? The only reason you got robots was because some European laws were squeamish about depicting human-on-human violence in video games. So Konami just reskinned Bill and Lance's RD-008 and RC-011. Literally robots. That's not innovation, man, that's editing. Look, call it what you want. The aesthetic actually worked. The robotic designs looked futuristic and meshed well with the alien environments. Honestly, it made the old game feel more sci-fi and unique. And don't act like Contra's plot was some deep narrative masterpiece. It was all blow up aliens and save the world nonsense. Exactly. Blow up aliens with real dudes who looked like they just stepped out of Predator. It was pure 80s action. Gritty, over the top, and perfect. Probotector felt like someone slapped tin cans on the heroes just to appease a ratings board. And yet, same developer, same legendary gameplay, same music, just more robotic flair. You got muscle men with bandanas, we got cybernetic warriors. Either way, it's Konami Gold. You didn't even get the arcade version's graphical fidelity. The NES port was scaled down for both of us. Alright, but Contra still became the version everyone remembers. In the States, we had the Konami Code Legend. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. 30 lives, instant nostalgia. Man, that code just is Contra. Yeah, we had the code too, mate. Just called it the Probotector code. Yeah, Same effect. Besides, you can't honestly say the game's quality drops just because the sprites changed. Nah, but there's something different about blasting aliens as human soldiers with impossibly big guns that just hits different. The robots, they just never caught on here. That says something. Well, maybe it says American gamers are just obsessed with muscles and headbands. At least Probotector showed you could have the same tight gameplay and give it a fresh coat of paint. Well, agree to disagree, I guess, but deep down we both know it's the same game underneath. Alright, fine, but mine had lasers and chrome. Bloody Contra. It's Probotector. And that's the end of it.
But thanks, Alan, for that again. It's always wonderful to have you do that for us. And before we get into the game, we do have some comments. So from our community, McFlurryXD says, isn't Contra the game that everyone uses to test D-pads and controllers and retro handhelds? The Contra test. Yes. The Contra test is if you push down on your D-pad and the character moves left or right, you're making contact with the left or right side of the D-pad. At least that's my understanding of it. There's also a Street Fighter test, but I'm not as well versed in that one. Super Jess, though I enjoyed Contra 3 vastly more than this one, I have a lot of great memories here. A buddy of mine had the arcade cab at his house when we were in our 20s. Many nights drinking a bottle of bourbon to see how fast we could beat the more drunk we got. Good time, Contras, good time. Radmax says, Brian and Sam got Contra, Alan got prostate tickler. That hardly seems fair, but I guess you're all getting fucked somehow. Yeah, I know, right? I'd rather prostate tickler. Chris Copeland says, Contra is awesome. Probotector doesn't exist since the UK didn't like the NES anyways. Be bigger people and ignore that insignificant title. I didn't see Contra for the Master System, and you can't trust a country that bans ninja swords. Dave McKenna says, Probotector sounds like a heavy-duty condom. Sure does, buddy. And finally, Big Brown Dog says, Probotector looks like a ROM hack made by the same sort of people who put Sonic inside of Mario games, but are too lazy to change any of the backgrounds or the level. Correction, this is the final comment is from Hooli, who says, this is a game that I would love to try couch co-op on. I'll definitely never finish it on my own. And that's all our comments. Thank you very much, everybody. So, with a little bit of music here, we are going to be talking about Contra, or Probotector in the case of Alan. Both games developed by Konami, both games published by Konami. Contra was released on the 20th of February 1987, and on the 20th of December 1990, Probotector came out in Europe, both for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. Alright, Contra, or as they call it in Europe, prostate protector, or probiotic yogurt. I'm not sure. Nobody ever actually cared. That's the topic of the episode today, and with me, of course, is Sam, my good buddy Bill, and Lance from the overseas, who's being played by Alan today. How are you, fellas?
Pretty good. Wait, are Bill and Lance are their actual canonical names? Okay.
Bill Rizzler and Lance being
the Rizzler.
I think
well,
you'll
no,
find...
sorry, it's Riser or something. But
we're gonna call him the
yeah,
Rizzler.
Such a dumb name.
I think you'll
Fine,
find
Alan
that
is
they're actually
RD008.
That's it, or RC011.
Oh wait,
yeah, RD stands for really dumb, and RC stands for really crappy.
wait, which one am I? Was I Lance or Bill?
I can't remember. That was so long
Lance
ago.
is codenamed Scorpion. Yeah. That's cool. Bill is Mad Dog. They came up with little mini bios for these guys, and it's so funny that they totally rip them off from like Rambo and whatever.
I'll be Mad Dog.
Yeah, you can be Mad Dog. I'll be Scorpion.
I'll go for a bit of
there
Mad
you
Dog.
Go.
Like Biff Tannen.
The real question is, which one of you is Arnie and which one of you is Rambo? Because those who the characters are modeled after.
Yeah, they are very clearly.
Yeah, they don't even hide it. It's actually what they said is that they took the inspiration from, I believe it was Commando and Rambo.
Yeah, I think they're literally just like stills from those films that have been just painted over.
Yeah, you could almost see that if you look at the cover art.
Yeah.
Not the Probotector cover, because all you see is a bunch of beep bop boop robots.
Yeah, which is, of course, the far superior cover art. Let's be honest, because who does not love, guys? Who does not love giant robots with guns and all of that cool shit?
These guys aren't giant robots; they're normal-sized, people-sized robots with guns and stuff. So they're not even the cool giant robots.
Well, it's a matter of scale, Brian. You know, I mean, I think they're very big.
My wife says it's big robots.
Yeah. Honestly, though,
here's the funny part about these games, because Contra was also in Japan, but if you read the plot from the Japanese Contra game, it takes place in 2633 AD, and these are two armed elite marine commandos, or Contra, and then I gave their names, and they are private first-class Marines, which is the first person you send out to save the world is two private first-class Marines. People can't even wipe their ass without help. And then if you go to the North American version, it's 1957. And then if you do the European version, it's, I don't even know, I can't find it. Apparently they didn't write it down on this wiki.
Well, no, it says it's 1957 that the large object from outer space crashed into the Amazon basin, and then 30 years later, 1987.
Yeah, but the Japanese version is 2633.
Yeah, you know.
That's more than 30 years, give or take.
I am trying. I'm trying to find out any information about when Probotector is set, but it's clearly, you know, it's some fucking advanced, cool future, isn't it? Fucking robots, guys, robots. Nonsense.
Yeah, so if anybody listening doesn't actually know, Probotector is the European version of Contra, because the German government had censorship laws that forbade violent depictions of humans, so the humans are swapped out for robots. It's basically sprite swap outs. The game plays and looks almost perfectly identical to Contra, so when we talk about it, we're going to be talking about the versions we played. I played Contra. Alan, you played Probotector, I believe, and Sam, did you play Contra or Probotector?
Contra, because I played it on the collection. I actually kind of wish that...
Oh, there you go.
In some instances, they have a couple of versions of Probotector, like the Genesis version, but they... or the Mega Drive.
Hardcore.
Yeah. No, not even hardcore. It's just Probotector is what it says. So I don't know what version it is, but I'm looking at kind of a playthrough, and yeah, it's identical, but the robots look cooler than the buff dudes. And the
really?
Yeah, and the robots look cooler than the stupid backpack guys. I think Probotector is the cooler version.
Hey,
fucking you're a traitor.
We have a consensus.
Traitor to your American allies. You know, they had a war over this called World War II, and it was all about Probotector versus Contra.
Is that what it was
we
about?
are fucking winning.
Yeah.
So, for reference, the Mega Drive version of Probotector is Contra Hardcore. So,
oh, is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
they're the same game there. And that, if we were to delve into a history of the game, I mean, because I've never played Probotector or Contra before, literally just a week or two ago. But I had played this Mega Drive Probotector, which, as I'm now finding out, is hardcore. And that is my only experience with the game. And I didn't get very far with it at all, because these games are fucking tough.
Oh, yeah, this is NES hard for sure.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. But you guys, you almost certainly have more experience with this game than I do.
Oh, this was like standard issue video games when you were a kid on the NES. You either rented it or you owned the copy of this. I remember playing this a lot as a kid. Back in those days when you're not good at video games, but your brain is so young and still maturing that you don't think about what you're doing, and for some reason that works a lot better.
Yeah, your reaction times were always quicker when you were younger, and I think that really plays into this sort of game.
Yeah, because Ultra Instinct doesn't kick in when you're older. It actually disappears when you grow up.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, that's why.
Could do with a bit
That's
of
why I
Ultra
suck.
Instinct.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe it's just me, but I've noticed in my life it actually gets these games which I used to just like dummy when I was a kid are like damn near impossible now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there is something to be said about muscle memory, which of course I did not have with this game. Because there are some games that I still play these days, you know, like your Sonics and what have you, that some people find a bit tough, and I'm just like, really? You know, but again, it's just because it is so ingrained in me that it's just a stroll in the park. But this, oh, buddy, this was something else. I mean, I feel like I've been getting more into these sort of NES hard games recently, and they've really been testing my mettle. And yeah, this one kicked me square in the dick.
Oh yeah, this one is definitely not one you're going to beat on the first try.
This one
God,
I can.
no.
This is a developer's wet dream because this game will either be rented 1,000 times or it'll be bought.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
You can watch a playthrough of it, and it takes about 20 minutes, which I did last night because I can't finish this game. I can hold my own, and I can get pretty far if I practice. But Contras in general, I like them, but man, and they get even like this. I think is probably one of the easier ones from a just like a formulaic standpoint because you go to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis Contras and it is just like a bullet hell.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably like my overriding memory of Hardcore or Probotector on the Mega Drive. That's probably why I've not played much of this series, because I never had the NES growing up. So there are a shit ton of NES games that I have just literally never played before. And even now, like there's quite a few I have in my collection up there that I just haven't got around to playing yet, and I'm kind of dreading some of them. And I'm not gonna lie,
Oh, yeah.
this was
You
one.
should.
Yeah, well, for sure. This was one of them that I was really nervous about playing. But I shouldn't have been, because I not to get too far ahead of myself, I really enjoyed my time with this.
This is one of those weird games where I love to hate it and hate to love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into like these intense games these days where, you know, like little bullets are flying all over the screen, like Sam said, bullet hell, and then you're trying to figure out what to do at the same time, and then you get like nicked in the ass by a bullet that you just didn't see, and it just, I don't know, wears on you. But thank God for the Konami Code, because that gave you like the extra lives.
Yeah, see, I assume that works on
It does.
Probotector.
It's, like,
does it?
Yeah, from what I found online, it works in both versions.
Oh, cool. I should try that.
I couldn't get it to work on the collection, but maybe I just did it wrong. I don't know. So I played without.
Up, down, left, right,
I know
left,
what it
right,
is.
BA, start.
I know what it is, but it wasn't.
It has-
That's for the audience.
Oh.
It has to work on the collection, surely. You couldn't have a collection of these of Konami games without putting the Konami Code in.
Yeah, I also believe this is the first game to use the Konami Code, and it was left in as a developer. Well, the developers used it to, test the game, and then they're just like, fuck it, let's just leave it. And then that, leads to the legend of the Konami Code.
See, the way I heard it told, and maybe you can confirm this, it's just like one of the developers, I don't know who, was playtesting the game and just found it too hard, so he put a code in to basically give himself all of these extra lives so that he could playtest the game. And as you say,
sounds right.
They just left it in there, and I think that's so cool. It's just like should we bring this difficulty down slightly? It's just like, nah, we'll just put a code in.
Not only did they leave it in, but they leaned into it as opposed to just letting it disappear, because Konami games after this all have the Konami Code. Well, not all of them, but like a good majority. Turtles in Time, you can use a Konami Code. So they leaned into it, and it became that famous thing. And I think everybody, including kids today, know what the Konami Code is.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
it actually works
pieces
in
of video game
quite
lore.
a few other games.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think it does. I think you're right. It's such a cool, like, just well-known secret that is just around,
Well, you play a Konami game and you want to try somewhere to do this code. It's like really makes me wonder if you played something like Metal Gear Solid, if you'd actually find a use for the Konami code. You know, I'm going to look that up.
Metal
while you
Gear
guys
Rising.
talk some
Literally,
more.
I've got it in front of me. I'm way ahead of you, buddy, because you know what? I saw this earlier on while we're talking about the Konami code, because it's not just in Konami games. And you know the one single one here out of this entire list of random games that this code can be used on is Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal for the PlayStation 2, which is an Insomniac game. And they have allowed you to use the Konami code, and it will replace the Omni Wrench with a double-ended lightsaber.
Damn.
And that is the coolest fucking thing I've heard all day.
Oh, here's one for you, Alan, that you got to try out.
Go on.
A variation of the Konami code at the game's menu unlocks the game's more difficult 1999 mode from the start, and that game is BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite. Yes. Did I do the 90? I think I did the 1999 mode. And there's one here as well, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which I am playing at the moment, and it works on that too, which is a cool little nod, because obviously
1986 mode, yeah.
Yeah, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, as I'm discovering, is Castlevania, you know, by any other name. But this isn't about Castlevania. This is about...
No, but the Konami code is
Probotector.
very relevant to the conversation, and I'm glad we kind of got it out before we started talking about the game, because now it's time to move into that. So let's start. Sam, I'm going to start with you and kind of give us a little bit what you think about this style of game and Contra itself.
I mean, like I mentioned before that I'm not good at this game, but I do enjoy the run and gun formula. So, I mean, I don't think I'm particularly good at any run and gun game, but it's just a fun formula. You know, it's fun to jump in and play it. You can get a little bit farther each time if you practice, and yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't play a whole lot of them, but I'm definitely interested in trying out some more. I mean, I played Cuphead. That's a tough game, run and gun, kind of. I mean, there's run and gun levels, but
would you equate Cuphead to being something like Contra? If people are interested in Cuphead, maybe give Contra a try.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's very similar, especially if you enjoyed the run and gun. I mean, they call it that in Cuphead, but those run and gun levels, if you enjoy those, you'd enjoy Contra.
All right, Alan, what about you? What's your first thoughts on the game? First time playing it, you picked it up, you started playing. What did Alan think?
Well, I mean, I don't have a huge amount of experience with run and guns. I've played a few, like some of the treasure games, Gunstar Heroes, Alien Soldier. I've dabbled a little bit with like Metal Slug and stuff like that, which I think kind of borrows heavily from Contra. It felt sort of instantly familiar and, you know, very, very arcadey, which is, I guess, kind of what this genre of game lends itself to. I mean, it is a very arcade style of game, like your shoot 'em ups and things like that. It's just, like Sam said, just pump in your coins and try and get as far as you possibly can. And I know that this was an arcade game beforehand. I think they did a fantastic job of porting this to the NES, because I was very, very impressed with not only the way the game looked right from the off, but it just played so smoothly. That was my first impression playing this game. It's just like it just moves, and I imagine that the NTSC version just moves even smoother, just that little bit faster, which is, you know, if probably harder to play Contra than Probotector because of that, but it was difficult, but it just felt so well made, you know?
It is a well-made game for sure. I mean, it does not need anything, like no tutorial to teach you anything. It just, everything you need to do is almost instinctively known from the moment you start. You hit a button, you start shooting. You don't have rapid fire to start, so you have to keep tapping the button until you get a machine gun or something else that you can hold the button down. The manual tells you what all the power-ups do. very obvious as you're running and you want to shoot down. You figure it out right away because you press down and you tend to go into an angle, and next thing you know, you're shooting down. And I think this was one of the first games to use the 8 directions of shooting.
I absolutely adore that.
So it adds a lot to the game. Like, the only thing I don't like, and this actually happened in the comments in the intro, somebody's asking about the Contra test. And what that is you use a controller in Contra, and if you press down, you should lay down on the ground. If you move left or right, your controller's making contact, or your D-pad's making contact with the left or right, contacts on your D-pad, and then your character moves. So I actually, read up a little on it, then I started doing it with my, what's it called? The Switch was it Switch? No, I played it on my PC, so it was my 8-bit Do Pro. And yeah, I'd press down, and of course he'd start running all over the place, so obviously the controller is not tight like the Nintendo controller.
Oh.
But yeah, and it actually hindered me at some points because I would want to lay straight down, but if you don't lay down, you're always standing. So if you're not pressing down perfectly, you're actually standing and aiming down in an angle, and that was a lot of the problems I had, and I just kind of compensated by getting good, and a lot of lives.
Wow,
you really do need a precision controller.
Yeah,
precision
I was going to say,
D-pad,
because I had no problem with the NES controller. Like, I pressed down, I was ducking, and you could do it on a dime on that thing, and it was just magnificent. But any amount, because this game does not pull any punches, so if there's any problem with the way you are controlling the game, by via that controller, then my god, that must make it that much more difficult.
Yeah, I have.
I was going to say, did I lose you?
No. I had that. Sorry, I was just thinking about controllers. I have that 8-bit Do. The Pro 2 is fine, and then I have the SN30, which is like the Super Nintendo looking controller that has 2 sticks on it. So it doesn't have the PlayStation grip. It just has the Super Nintendo kind of form to it. And for whatever reason, and I even looked it up because I tried to play on that one, and the D-pad is so loose that it you're pressing down and it's not doing what you want to do because it's pressing multiple directions at once. And I noticed that reviews online, some people had the same issue. So don't use the SN30. That controller sucks. I can't stand that controller.
Wow. Yeah,
that's made it really hard to play Contra.
Favors.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
which is already in itself very hard to play.
Right. Hard game, and then give yourself a controller handicap.
That's it. Yeah, might as well blindfold yourself while you're at it as well.
Yeah. No, it's also, I think the charm of this game as well is how simplistic the level design is. It's a platforming, run and gun, shooting, bullet hell, just a hot mess of basically going through these levels and just figuring it out. There's some points where you duck down to get the bullets to go flying over your head so you can shoot the bad guys, but at the same time, bullets are coming at you from angles, and they move fairly slow on the screen too.
But they're hard to see because they're little white dots. It's one single pixel.
Yes. And then you get to a boss, and the boss is shooting spread shots, and it's very much in a pattern, but at the same time, for some reason, it's almost impossible to dodge. And then you get the quasi 3D levels where you're at the bottom of the screen and you're going through the bases and you have the electric fence in front of you. I didn't realize I could duck under the bullets in that.
I did not either, not for the longest time. Oh my god, I was jumping around that screen like an arsehole just trying to dodge, and I would always invariably jump into the path of a bullet that I just couldn't see. And when I found out that I could duck under most of that, I was just for
game changer, right?
I hated those forward-facing sections to begin with, but then once I figured out that that's something I could do, I was just like, oh, okay, well now this is entirely manageable, and I actually learned to quite enjoy them after that. But fuck me,
I discovered that by accident because there's the one The one wall, so when you're in these forward-facing sections, it's like level 2 and, 4, I think. You're facing a wall in front of you, and then you have to move side to side, and then I guess you can duck or jump, but there's like these, I don't know what you'd call them. It's like a circular eye-looking thing that you have to shoot and blow up, and once you blow that up, it destroys the wall and you move forward, but there's like enemies and, gun emplacements and shit, but there's one that's down on the bottom, so it looks like, you have to duck down, and I think I discovered that I was avoiding bullets because I was like, oh shit, I just got hit, and it's like, oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, when that happened initially, I would duck down, but I still thought the bullets would hurt me, so when they were coming at me, I'd stand up and jump out of the way.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't until I think one accidentally flew over my head that I was like,
it.
what?
Yeah,
Oh.
I discovered it by accident, and I was like, oh, that makes this so much better. I don't have to jump around like like an idiot.
Yeah, I just laid there and let him shoot all over my face.
Well, for the most part, you can duck because unless they run through and throw the grenades over the top, like you really could just duck down for the most part and then just like get up and shoot whatever you need to shoot and then duck down again.
Yeah. Which is exactly what I did. And it also came in so handy for, there were certain rooms that would have those things roll along the ground towards you. And
you can shoot those too.
You can blow them up.
Yeah.
And again, that was another thing, because I was trying to jump over them and jump side to side to get over them, and for some fucking reason they slowed down when they got into your sort of path, so you would always misjudge and just end up jumping on the thing and losing a life. And when I realized that I could duck down and shoot those and blow those things up as well, it's like that. Those sections went from like a 2 to like an 8. It was just fucking just night and day. It's like, oh, now I know what I need to do, and that's again one of the things I love about this game. It's not the game's fault. You just suck, and when you figure out how to not suck, you're like, there's such a good feeling, and I was getting that a lot with this one.
Yeah, oh no, you're absolutely right. But moving forward here, just to keep the conversation going, let's talk about our favorite weapons, and let's keep the spread gun out of the conversation right now because it's obviously everybody's favorite weapon, and it's not even close.
Well, I have nothing to say.
Let's call it. What's your second favorite weapon? What's out of all of them? You got the laser, the machine gun. You got the little flame twirly thing.
They're all pretty useful.
But if you had to pick a secondary weapon, what would it be?
Probably
It'd
that
have to be that swirly one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swirly one? Ah, see, I went with the machine gun because I could hold the button down.
That too.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was useful. I just found that the amount of not only range, but it was kind of almost a spread as well, because it does go in quite a wide circle as it flies across the screen. So it was just like, it was as close to the spread gun as you can get without actually being the spread gun.
Right. Like,
fair enough.
Like, you wouldn't be too disappointed if you accidentally picked that one up.
No.
Well, yeah, after you die, and that's the only thing available.
yeah.
But once you get the spread gun there, you avoid everything the fucking
You don't want
plague.
to touch anything.
It's like that spread gun is, I don't know, maybe it's purposely overpowered or something like that, but that's a game changer.
It really is.
I think,
like, especially when the bosses
think,
are overhead.
Yeah. So I genuinely think that's the only way to beat the game.
Oh, probably.
It's just, I would not like to have, fought some of the fights that I fought in this game without the spread gun, and it became so precious. You'd get so pissed when you'd lose a life and then have to go back to just your fucking pea shooter.
Yeah, and I
You're
think
sitting there.
well, the laser sucks.
Go ahead.
The laser is not great because you need to be very accurate with it, but one thing I will say for the laser is that I think what it does is it packs a ton of damage into a single point, which is what a laser does. But in the game, I mean, you can't mash the button or else it'll interrupt your laser shot. It'll basically start your laser over again. So if you keep mashing the button, your range goes way down. But if you're precise and patient with it, you can shoot the laser and it'll do you can hear that little weird sound bite that it makes when you damage something. And you can hear it 4 or 5 times when the laser bolt hits. So it's the laser is great for doing a ton of damage to a small area.
Yeah. And I am one of the idiots who was just like spamming. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong with this gun? It's just, every other gun in the game, I've either been spamming or just holding the button down. And, maybe I should have held the button down for this a bit more. But it's like, it probably is pound for pound the most powerful gun in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just so fucking fiddly to use.
There's someone who's like, no damage run, laser only, fucking ridiculous.
But that ain't me.
Yeah.
I beat this game once, and I am going to take an extended leave of absence from Probotector for a little while my heart rate,
well deserved,
which is still raised, like 3 or 4 days later. I'm going to let that die down for a bit first. Fuck, man.
I just looked it up. There is a Contra NES playthrough laser run, no deaths.
Yes, of course there is.
Sam was right. Because there has to be.
You know what?
Right? Of course.
The playthrough that I watched, just so I could see the last couple levels of the game, I think I've gotten to the ice level myself, and there's only a couple levels after that, but they're pretty hard looking. But I could appreciate that whoever uploaded the playthrough that I watched left in their mistakes, and they made a couple of goofy mistakes, but it was like, you know what, I appreciate you. You're really good at this game, but everyone whiffs on this game at some point,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people who can do like no damage runs or whatever are fucking monsters.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be allowed out in polite society.
Well, you say that though, but I mean, you kind of have to do a no damage run on this game because every time you get hit, even once, you lose a life.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like
Sorry,
you've got.
I guess no deaths would be.
No, I
deaths,
get that.
damage
I just thought it was a good enough segue into like how brutal this game is. Like,
look at you, segue.
hey, I'll segue all the way into your heart, buddy.
You lean forward. And
But you're right,
roll that
absolutely. You get touched by a bullet, you die like a real man and not like a robot.
Yeah, and that's
right.
not something that you're even in games of that time. Well, maybe a little bit because this is an arcade port, but it's just interesting that there's no life meter. You do start right where you died, but you lose your power up, so that sucks.
Yeah, but there is an item that gives you a shield, so he gets like temporary invulnerability.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
that item.
That comes in handy in that level with the friggin' fire pipes there that fucking cook you.
Yeah, and that bridge
I mean,
too, in the waterfall. It's just kind of funny because it's almost like they put those there to be like, yeah, we know that this part we put this part in there and it's stupid, so we're just gonna give you a pass, no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate because it's the B, isn't it? I definitely appreciate that in that level you were talking about with the fire. Because I was trying because that like the timing has to be so precise, and those
It's
flames.
not that the timing has to be precise. It's that if you make a move around them, they shoot. So you have to activate them. Then when they go back and recede back into the pipe, that's when you have to make your move. But if you're too late, it's going to shoot fire out at you again.
Yeah. You have,
It's
you have
what
a
sort
very
of
small
fucking
window.
magical gas pipe is this that it knows when I'm there?
It's the fuck you pipe.
Like, fuck, that was frustrating. That part made me angry.
I actually really also thought that the invulnerability item, unlike I don't know, like a star or that sparkle item in Sonic, like that invulnerability item actually lasted for a fairly generous amount of time in this game. Like I was pretty impressed that like you could clear several platforms in the waterfall with your invulnerability.
Yeah.
You can make it up quite a ways.
It's very, very generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's needed. It's if without that, I think this game might have lost a point for me. But just finding that at the right time just took away that stress I didn't need in my life.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, always when you need it the most. And I mean, that one we're talking about in particular, it's just like I didn't actually know it was there at first. And the amount of times I was trying to get through that maze of flames, and just like, I didn't want to go for that because all of the items are hidden behind these kind of, I guess, panels on the wall that open and close sequentially. And you've got to hit it while it's open, and then it will spit out this power up. I was just like, and this one that was located there, I was just, it's like that looks kind of risky to get. I mean, because there's again these flame jets shooting more or less directly at it, so it's just like I'm not sure if I want to sort of take the risk of jumping down there just to get a power up and then having to get out of that situation. But when I realized it was a barrier or whatever, I was just like, oh fuck no. Okay, that's again another game changer. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, this game does that a lot though, like not just the fire things, but you go like in the next level and you have these spike walls that come up from underground, and they seem to do it at the most inopportune time possible. But then again, there's another barrier item there around that area as well. And then you got the simple ones where, you know, the little claws come down from the top of the ceiling, and you have to go in between them, but it kind of slows the game down a little bit for me.
Yeah.
So this game does have some stuff that makes you go, what? But at the same time, it's nice to have a little bit of a break here and there where you do something so simplistic like walk through these claws. But those spike walls, fucking hell.
Those...
Just you're running along, there's nothing that marks where they are,
No.
so you're just running and all of a sudden, boom, fucking spike wall.
It's like
you're dead.
It's like you're on a platform that has very obvious like sections on it, and it's almost like you just have to walk one at a time and just wait until, you know, the walls come up and then shoot at it.
I can't imagine there's anyone who didn't get hit by those walls like first.
Yeah, stationary objects as deadly as the first Goomba in Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
There's literally no way of knowing that it's there, and like I walked into every single fucking one of them, I think. Until I learned the positioning, and then I was just like, okay, now I know where to be careful and where not to. But it's not something you can predict. It's literally is there to fucking kill you.
Yeah,
exactly.
This game really does a good job of making you learn when you can go through it quickly and when you need to slow down. Like you know, there's no way to just like speed run it in a Mario sense, you know, like a Mario game that's been speed run. It's like you just sprint, you hop, and then you complete the level. This is like there's no way to do that in a game like this.
No. I mean, that being said, you know, there's probably someone out there who can. I mean, what did you say that playthrough was like 25 minutes?
Yeah, and
20
that
minutes
was
or something.
I would say like a no death run would probably be about the most you could do for a speed run, because there's not any way to like skip anything in this game.
The speedrun record for Contra is 9 minutes 47 seconds.
That's ridiculous.
Christ.
And it was done 3 months ago.
Really?
I wonder how they did it. Like,
Oh
you
wow!
must just
Really, really fast.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have a spare 9 minutes. I'll fucking watch that. Just to feel like even worse about myself.
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes when I want to refresh myself, if I finished a game like a week before we talk about it, I'll actually watch the speedrun video just to get myself back into the game there. And some of these people are friggin' ridiculous in how they play the game. Like, they must do nothing but play the game
Yeah.
until they have perfected it. And I don't honestly see how that can be fun, but obviously these guys love it, so
Yeah.
all the power to them.
I mean, it's like a hyper fixation, because really, like, I've listened to some interviews with speedrunners, and it's like, yeah, you pick your game and you just hunker down and you play that game, and like really you don't play anything else, because you'd ruin your like your rhythm and your muscle memory for your other game. Like you can't spread your gaming out to other games, because you have to get so keyed in to the one that you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and that's true enough even if you're not speedrunning. Because I think it was you, Sam, that said, like, when I was sort of in the early stages and bitching about this game, I think you were the one who was saying, like, it's one of those games where it's like, you sleep on it, and, you know, it will ingrain itself into you, and then come back to it the next day, and you'll do a little better. And it's just like, yeah, you can't really afford to play anything else while you're playing Contra or Probotector, and I kind of love that about it.
Yeah, I definitely
yeah.
got better at it if I set it down, and you know, like when I picked it back up for playing it for the show here, just playing around with it, I couldn't beat the first level again. I was like really frustrated, like what the fuck? I could totally do this. And yeah, you just have to re-practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. what about the music in the game? Like, Konami's one of those Nintendo companies, well, not Nintendo company, but company that developed for the Nintendo that really knew how to use the sound chip. I found the music in this game really good.
Yeah.
Like, looking at the track list for the episode there, I had a hard time picking which ones I was going to use for the actual episode itself.
See, this is where I kind of fell down a bit because I think there's a problem with the lead going from my NES to the TV there, because it was so quiet. Well, like, what I could hear of it that I really enjoyed, but it's one of those things which is like I was so locked in on actually playing the game that I wasn't paying too much attention to the music. I mean, it wasn't distracting or anything like that. It's just, it was obviously doing its job in the background there, but I was just so laser focused on just trying to get through this thing that I couldn't tell you any of the tracks or tunes or anything.
Yeah,
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember what game was it. It was Other M. Like, talking about the music in that, and like just in Metroids in general. Like, I often don't notice the music, and in this game I
found the music.
Yeah,
the music in this game punches you in the face. It's got that always actiony soundtrack rhythm there, and it's very, like, I don't know how to say it, but it's like fast paced, and it's there. You're listening to it, and you're kind of passively listening to it, because good music on the Nintendo did that. You would passively listen to it, but it would repeat itself over and over and over again, and it would kind of help you out. So
yeah,
I don't know. I really like the music. That's all I'm saying on that point.
The NES had some like ridiculous soundtracks, though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, even the Super Nintendo had some amazing soundtracks.
Oh, I mean, the Super Nintendo took it to the next level, but I mean, for something that is as basic as the NES, like the tunes they got.
Oh yeah, Mega Man,
yeah, Castlevania.
Well, it's mostly the companies, Konami, Capcom, and Nintendo really knew how to make the music on the system. There's probably others.
Yeah,
well,
I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
It's so funny too that like these, IPs that started back in the late 80s, like, your Contra, Zelda, Castlevania, like, we get these, like, symphonic renditions these days of a tune that that originated as, like, basically a chip tune. Like, it's just nuts. Like, the melodies or like I'm not a super intelligent music person, but like, the phrasing of the music like was just timeless, so it translates to modern instruments and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just that,
yeah,
as long as it's like recognizable, you can do just about anything with these tunes, and it's just going to hit that nostalgia bone. And yeah, brilliant.
Well, then, music aside, graphics aside, the differences of the European versus North American version, we've gone over everything. This is not going to be a long episode because there is not a lot to talk about, especially like now that we've been playing the more complex games and we found our rhythm. These NES games are starting to get, for lack of a better term, kind of basic for what we've been trying to do for this show. So even though we're going to still review them, expect them to be a little bit shorter of episodes. And on this one, I think it's time to wrap up, to be honest with you.
Unless we want to just talk about boss fights real quick, because there were some pretty cool ones.
Yeah, I would love to get into the bosses.
Like, okay, if you guys want to get into the bosses, like, quite honestly, I don't really have a lot to say on that. I mean, you moved away from the bullets, you shot the shiny thing, rinse, repeat every boss. It was a pattern.
Yeah.
Oh, I will bring up one thing before you guys do that. I forgot to mention the aliens connection.
Right.
Okay.
What's his name? HG something or other.
Oh,
the guy.
Geiger.
Yeah.
Geiger, yeah, who made Aliens. They actually took his designs from Aliens and they added it into some of the later levels. You'll see what looks like the Alien Queen.
Yep.
In one of the mini boss fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
So,
yeah, and it's like that kind of threw me for a loop. I mean, because at first, obviously, I'm just shooting other robots, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And you get to that first boss, which is basically just a wall the wall that shoots bullets at you, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board with this. And then I got to that one boss, and I think it's at the end of the waterfall. and it's basically this giant screen-filling alien, and it does look pseudo like the Geiger aliens and stuff like that. I was just like, fucking hell, that looks amazing.
There's even,
but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, there's even like face huggers at the on the final level, like right before you get to the final boss. There's eggs all over the place. They're hatching these like white spider-looking face huggers. They look nasty. Oh
yeah. I guess because I didn't know what the story of this game was all about. I was just here for a good time, and just like all of a sudden there's aliens, and the design was just brilliant. Seeing that great big fucking thing, and some of the boss fights are a little bit not basic, but you've got those walls with the things that you obviously need to shoot, and then just dodge whatever's shooting at you. But then some of them are just like really cool.
The big robot armored giant guy, he was probably the hardest boss because you had to jump over him precisely to kill him.
Yes,
but for the most part, I honestly really found the bosses once you got to them, it's just you're getting bullets flying at you, you find the safe spot, and then you attack the enemy, and it really did feel like kind of the same thing over and over again, even though every boss fight, was different.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you've got that spread gun, then every boss is almost trivial.
Yeah, that might be the problem too. Is once I spread them, it was easy.
Once you spread them, they just went down smooth.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, and the fun thing about, like, as boring as it sounds, the bosses that were just basically walls that you were like shooting up at, there were definitely not only patterns but kind of an order that you had to shoot the parts in, because I noticed on the second level where there's that wall, if you don't shoot the parts that open up and shoot down at you, it'll activate that moving thing on the top that fires the ring at you, and then you're dealing with way too much stuff at once. So if you do it in the right order and destroy those kind of gun emplacements and then the other parts of it, then you're just dealing with the ring on its own. So
yeah,
there was definitely like an order of operations that you have to do trial and error to kind of figure out.
Dodging those because that's kind of a spread gun of its own, and it's just like dodging that spread and the ring flying around and everything like that. It's just like, oh, there's a lot going on here, and I wish I'd done this a little bit better. I mean, I think the only one that really kind of was maybe a bit of a disappointment was the final boss, because it's literally just like this, I don't know, random organ or something like plastered into the wall with like other aliens. No, and it wasn't.
Instead of testicles.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was a giant alien testicle plastered to the wall that spat out other face huggers, and not terrible, but it's just kind of sat there, and it's like, okay, and that whole level I found like pretty, after everything I've been through, pretty easy to sort of get through.
Maybe it's nice to finish it off on an easy note, just to make you feel like a big robot.
Well, definitely.
I mean, it was still tense, but yeah. I was a big robot.
Looked easier than that stupid robot that walked across the screen that you had to jump over that Brian mentioned. That looked shitty.
Yeah. Every fucking time it would catch me out with that blade he throws.
Yep.
I will say that the boss fights were actually fun in this game.
Yeah.
The first, like, you're fighting the wall with the cannons on it in the first level, that was kind of But after that, the enemies actually do get quite interesting. And like I said, it's rinse and repeat pattern thing, but it is kind of the same thing, but kind of not the same thing, because you do have to figure out the pattern. It's like a Mega Man game when you figure out the pattern of the boss so that you know how to beat them. Same idea here, and it does add some, I guess, not variety, but a little bit of fun to the levels. The only problem is once you learn the pattern, I mean, you go back, play the game again, and you know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Which is why, like, every subsequent playthrough just got that little bit easier. I would struggle so much with the first level, and then by the end of it, it's just like the first level was just kind of trivial. It was just like, okay, let me just rush through this to get back to where I was, and it's just you do. It is, I mean, the pattern recognition there is not a bad thing. It's just I just loved figuring these things out, and just the game does a great job of like rewarding you for paying attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, trial and error is the name of the game here.
100%. 100%. So yeah,
All
what
right.
All right.
Yeah, I just
what I
wanted to make
originally
sure we
thought
talked
was
about
bullshit.
those bosses. They were fun.
Yeah, you guys satisfied? Or you guys, you think we've got anything left to talk about?
Nah.
No, it's
Nah.
a 25-minute
Alright.
25-minute game if you play it right. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
review is
episode
longer
has
than the
gone
game.
on longer than the gameplay videos we watched.
Right.
absolutely, that's because we don't have
But,
spread guns.
Alan, you're the European here. You had the Probotector. Why don't you wrap it up first and give it a score?
I fucking will. Do you know what? I missed out on this game as I missed out on a lot of NES games back in the day. And I'm actually kind of bitter about that because I fucking loved this game. It's one of those that I think that if I had as a kid, I would have just played over and over and over again because it is so smooth, and that ability to fire in all directions is just so much fun, and it never really chugs. It never, it's never cheap. It's a hard game. It's NES hard, but like I said, the more you play it, the more you sort of learn the patterns, the more you learn where everything is. It just gets easier and easier as you get through it. I mean, by no means is it, easy, but what I originally thought was just cheap, manufactured difficulty, I realized that no, actually it's me. I'm the problem. Like, I need to lock in and just fucking learn how to play this game, and that sense of reward for getting a little bit further each time and learning what I need to do to get back there is just, it's just fucking brilliant. Like, again, the music, what I heard of it was great, was fine. I do prefer giant robots, I have to say. I'd be interested to sort of play this again and play it as Contra, just to see, because as far as I'm aware, it's basically the same game, but I think that would be a neat little quirk.
I did do that. I actually tried Probotector for a couple of levels, and it is the same game.
No doubt. I mean, and like I said, maybe we had an easier time with it over here because, I do believe that games are slightly slower on PAL than they are on NTSC, or at least smoother or something like that. I'm not sure, but either way, I don't know. It's just, for a game and a series that I know very little about, like, I'm in love with this thing. I will play it again, 100%. I think I'm just gonna have to settle on I'm gonna give it like an 8.5, and definitely want to play more games in this series now.
Well, there you go. 8.5 from Alan on the Probotector scale. Sam, what are you going to give it on the Contra scale?
The Contra scale. Yeah, I mean, this is a very accessible game. There's tons of ways to play it. I have the Contra collection on Switch. It goes on sale all the time, so just like the Castlevania collections. I think I did want to mention this. I think Konami in general has done, and I don't even know if they're the ones doing it. I don't know who sets up all their retro collections, but like, they've got some good ones out there. Like, we've played the Metal Gear Solid collection. There's Turtles. There's Castlevania. So like, all these great Konami games from back in the 80s and 90s are all pretty well available for purchase, and they're good. And this collection has not only the NES Contras, but like the arcade version I dabbled in a little bit, and that's kind of interesting too. We didn't even really get into that. But yeah, there's some interesting differences. It definitely has better graphics, obviously, because at the time, the NES wasn't as powerful as an arcade cabinet. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I enjoy this game. I can't beat it, but I'm confident that if I were to really lock in and play it, I just don't have time, with my schedule to just hammer at this game until I beat it. But it's a game that rewards persistence and patience and learning the patterns and everything. even if you set it down, like you'd say like, well, I beat it and I learned it, it wouldn't be fun to go play it again. It absolutely would be fun to go play it again. And I think really if you set it down for any period of time and pick it up again, you'll have to relearn some of the, reconnect some of the synapses that disconnected while you were playing other shit. So I think it's a great game. I'll play it again. I don't think I'll spend the amount of time that I would need to probably beat it, but it's a great game to jump in and play, and got a lot of replay value. So I don't know. I'm kind of spinning in circles, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 too.
Nice.
It's definitely,
right.
I think it's actually, I haven't played a lot of the subsequent Contra releases, like Contra 3 and Hardcore and all that stuff. I've dabbled in them a bit, and what I've found is that they're just so busy on screen that some of the simplicity of Contra really works to its benefit. Like, it's a difficult game, but it's not an overly, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just the simplicity really works in its favor. So that's all I got.
Agreed.
Well said. Well, I don't have a lot to add from what you guys said. You guys kind of summarized it pretty well. And I don't know. I do have childhood memories of this game. This definitely was something I at least rented. I don't think I owned it until I repurchased all my Nintendo games after selling my brother's collection, which he'll punch me again for. I don't like games like this nowadays, but for some reason when I went back to this one, it felt comfortable. It took me a while, like Sam said. I did lose the muscle memory in this game, and it's also reaction times. I did play an emulated version, so maybe part of the problem is I was playing an emulated version, and the back in the day, like Alan said, the 50 hertz European standard and the 60 hertz North American standard actually changed how the game plays, because the 50 hertz actually made the game slower and by all rights a little bit easier, where the 60 hertz being at the faster pace, bullets come at you a little bit quicker. So maybe that changed it. I can't really explain why, but I started playing and I kind of locked in. It took me about 3 play sessions to get through. I started using the Konami Code more often just to make sure I had enough lives. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys. This is a solid 8.5 out of 10.
We three are in agreement. You'd love to see it happen.
It's a great game. I have nothing left to say. Alan, do you want to tell them where they can find us if they enjoyed the episode?
What, you want me to give the home addresses, or?
Yes, 123 Main Street in London, United Kingdom.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to this, then you already know you can find Retrotopia on whatever platform you are using at the moment. But there's more to Retrotopia than just our main show. You can find all of our socials. You can find our merch store. You can find our Discord. And you can find our Patreon over at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. I mean, come and join our Discord for one, because we're building quite a lovely little community over there, and we'd love to have you come along and join us, join the party, and check out our Patreon as well. You get all sorts of extra shows, which I'm sure Brian's already gone over in the intro, so I won't rehash here, but it's a good time. There's a lot of good extra stuff there for free, and a little bit extra for not so free. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, $2 US. You get a couple of stuff locked behind the hero tier. All right, Sam, Alan, thanks for playing this game. Thanks for Alan for biting the bullet and staying up until, I'm pretty sure it's 4 a.m. where you are right now.
Not quite.
Yeah,
Pretty close though.
And Sam, you kind of worked yourself into getting here a bit earlier, which is appreciated, boys. Until next time, make sure you Probotector your penises by using your contraceptive.